Okay, so guys, let's start. So last lecture we have talked about upcasting, downcasting, and how upcasting, downcasting can be done. This is all we discussed about in detailed manner. Now today we are going to start our discussion with arrays in Java, what arrays are, and why we should learn arrays. So firstly understand data structure itself. We have a separate concept in Java called as collection, right? Collection, collections, stream API. These all concepts are something related to data structure. पे कर लो. Right? So when I say data structure it means it's collection of values. Whenever there's a collection of value that you want to store, then we'll use the concept of what data structure. Okay? If there's only one value, variable is enough. Example, I want to store one vegetable name. I have some billing software. In that billing software, one vegetable name I want to store, one variable is enough. String vegetable equals, let's say, whatever the vegetable is. But now, if I want to store 10 vegetable names, 20 vegetable names, 100 vegetable names, let's say now, in this, vegetable market, I've got at least 50 varieties of vegetable, 50 varieties of fruits, 10 varieties of flowers. Now, to store 50 varieties of vegetables, I cannot create 50 variables. So here, now data structure concept becomes mandatory for me. I will now create a data structure, and that data structure will hold this as a collection of values. This data structure will hold that as a collection of values, like collection of fruits, collection of vegetables, collection of flowers, collection of students, collection of employees, collection of companies. When we come across the term collection, that's why in Java they have given the name as collection. Instead of data structure, what Java is termed as collection. Collection means it is not one, it is multiple. It's not singular, it's plural. Correct, no? It is collections that we are going to store. So this is where we will require a concept of data structure. Now data structure, it means how will you structure your data in the memory, how will you organize your data in the memory and store it. Simplest of all is arrays, but there are different data structure like hash map, we have set, we have list. Correct? We have queue. These are different structures that we come across, but we will not learn that now. We will learn that later. But for now, I'm picking up a simple data structure called as arrays. Arrays will help us to store the data as a collection, but in a continuous manner, which means the memory that is being given for an array should be continuous. Okay, you now, let's say I have some memory on RAM. Now when I create an array, that memory on RAM should be continuous, like people sitting in the bench. Whoever is now occupying the bench, they will occupy continuously. First fellow, second fellow, third fellow, seat off, like movie theaters, right? So whenever you book a seat in movie theater, you will book the seats with your friends together. You will not book it like one seat here, first row, and one seat somewhere in the last row. Will you do that? Will you book one row here in the first and one seat in the last row? Arrays means the seats has to be continuous. People will sit continuously. The memory allocation is continuous. Let's take one example. Firstly, when you want to create an array in Java, we will use the data type with a square bracket. The square bracket represents it can hold collection of values. X is equal to new int of 3, which means the maximum size of this array is 3. It can store 3 values. The maximum size of an array is 3 and it can store 3 values. Now understand. int array x is equal to new int of 3. Firstly, I'm using a new keyword here. If I'm using a new keyword, what is happening now is one object is created. Understand this way. And that object is now, okay, which is created, its address is present in X. Do you agree with that? Because whenever I use new keyword in Java, it means object creation. When I'm writing int array x is equal to new int of 3, object is created. And that object has 3 partitions, 1, 2 and 3. The first partition will start with index 0, 1 and 2. Are you understanding now? But this is a special object. This is a special object. So this object is created continuously only. Can I create half object here, half object somewhere else? Object is 1. So by default it is becoming continuous here. Yes or no? But now what will happen here? This object that I'm talking about, every section of the object, okay, every section of the object, the memory size of it depends on the data type. If it is int, this is 4 bytes. This section of the object again will be how many bytes? And this section of the object will again become what? But usually we are used to representing array diagram like this. Whenever we learn array, we represent the diagram of an array which is something like this. Yes or no? Correct? And this array in Java that I'm creating, this X here is actually an object. And this object, the first block is of 4 bytes, the second block is of 4 bytes, and the third block again what? Which means total size of an array is how many bytes? 12 bytes. How many bytes it is? And the first index starts with 0, then 1 and then 2. Is the memory here continuous? Is the memory here continuous? Tell me. Do you see the memory here to be continuous? Okay. Am I storing collection of value? I can store 3 collection of values. Maximum 3 values I can store, which is a collection. And for that collection of value, we learn data structure. Anybody has parked the bike in the entrance? Entrance, bicycle, cycle. Anybody has parked the cycle front of the gate? Yours is it? Okay, please keep it. Okay, बाजू कर दो. साइकिल है ना? हाँ तो उठा के रख सकते हो ना? हाँ? किसका गेट के सामने? अपना गेट के सामने. हाँ तो उठा के साइड रखो ना, साइकिल ही तो है. हाँ बाइक, हाँ ठीक है. Okay, everyone. Huh? Locked? Okay, okay. Then you keep it aside. Huh. Now, please understand when I'm talking about an array that I've created here, what's happening in high level manner, you've understood that now. So, in Java, when you create an array, actually, what you will see, an object getting created. Let's see this here with one quick practical example. Let's go here. Let's now remove this. And now what I will do is, I will write here int x is equal to new int of 3. Now when I try to print here x, you see what is it printing? Address of the object. And this 3 here is the size. So this array has one instance variable in it, a final instance variable in it called as length. Length is not a method, it's a final instance variable. Length. Can you see that here now? Now length here is an instance variable which will give me the size of an array. What is the size of array? The size of an array here is what? 3. Size of an array here is what? 3. Is this part clear? Everyone? Any doubts, questions, queries so far? Everyone clear with this part so far? Okay. Now if I want to store the value in an array, why the array index should always start with 0? For what reason? Let's understand that now. Okay. So that will give us an idea how storing and retrieving data is going to happen. So I'm going to take this now, simple array. Now this array, let's assume index starts at 0, why array starts index with 0. So there is an explanation for it now. And each block that I'm talking here now, each block that I'm talking here now, each block that I'm talking here has a starting address. Just let's assume the starting address of this block is 200. Okay, is what? So obviously this block will start at 204. Now this block will start at 205. Is this clear, everyone? Yes. So observe here now. I have the blocks with a starting address. The first block starts at 200. The second block starts at 204, and then 208, and then 208. Correct, no? I'm just assuming this address randomly for our explanation. The memory addresses will not be like this in integer representation. Okay? But for our understanding, I'm using integer representation. Now, whenever I want to store the value at index 1, I will now write here x of 1, x of 1 is equal to 10. When I write x of 1 is equal to 10, the value has to go here. So how will the value go here? So we use here a formula. The formula is now start address, start address, address plus index into memory size. Memory size. So when you are writing this x of 1, array is using this formula. Let's say the start address. Now the start address here of an array is what? 200. Do you agree with that? And the index here is now 1, and the memory size is what? 4. Now what is this? And it will directly go to that location and store what? 10. Are you understanding now? Okay, now let's say I want to store the value here. So I'm going to write down now x of 0, x of 0 is equal to 5. Now in this case, what will happen now? When I use this x of 0, what is the index number? 0. What is the memory size? 4. What is the starting address? 200. Which means now I'm going to get here is 200 plus 0, which is what? Did you understand why we start the index with 0? So there is a formula that is being applied on an array behind the scene. Okay. So let's quickly start storing some values. I will just go here. SYSO x. First let's store the value. X of 0 is equal to 10. Our exception concept is not yet over. We are learning array index out of bound exception. But if you don't even know arrays, can you learn array index out of bound exception? Think about it. X of 1. Copy. Paste this here. Make this as 2. Paste it. And this will be for reading the value. 3. Now run and see. What is the output? What is the output? Array index. Why index? Because 3 does not exist. The first index is what? 0. Second index is what? 1. Next index is what? If you exceed the size of an array, we will get array index out of bound exception. For example, I'm exceeding the size. Let me write here x of 3. Now observe line number 14, x of 3, what is it giving? Array index out of bound exception. So let's use a try catch block. Handle the exception. What kind of exception is this? Runtime. So I'm going to give here array index out of bounds exception e dot print stack trace, right click, run as Java application. Now see, are we handling it? Yes. So if you write anything after catch block, that will still work. Let's print here welcome. Because exception is handled, it will print what? Welcome. Let's read these points once carefully. I want you people to read these points carefully. Is it done? Are you clear with this part? Now, to find the size of an array dynamically, we use public final field length. So there is one field length which is of the type public and final given inside your arrays concept. And when you write the length, it will give you the length of it like this. When I write age dot length, output is what? 40. Unary operators you have already completed? All of you? Yes. The assignment was given. Unary operator is already been completed. Now we need to learn arrays in depth manner. But for that, we will have to firstly start working on certain things like loops, conditional statements, break keyword, continue keyword. Like this, lot of concepts we will have to learn. And then we'll again come back to arrays, start working on it, build some logical programs on that. Removing duplicate elements from an array, sorting an array, things like that. But now, the first thing, so see what am I doing is I'm going with a flow. I'm not completing the whole topic at once because they're all interlinked. So arrays concept, if you want to work with loops, becomes mandatory. For loop, while loop, do while loop, when to use which loop, things like that. But firstly, I'm going to start with scanner class now because this is all I'll be using it further. So what is a scanner class? When a user needs to give an input, a user input needs to be provided, like enter your name. And you should be able to type the name in your keyboard and that should receive the name. Enter your name. And when you give here the name attribute, the name value, the reading of that name should happen, which is user input. In order to provide a user input, Java provides something called a scanner class. Okay, the whole purpose of scanner class is to provide user inputs, which we give it like this: scanner, scan is equal to new scanner, and we write here system dot in, and then you press control 1 input. This is the fixed syntax. System.in is supplied as a value to the constructor of scanner. In stands for input stream. System.out stands for output stream. That's used for printing the value. Is this clear, everyone? And when we are talking about in, it stands for what? Input stream. Is this clear? Now here system.in, there's a fixed syntax. I cannot change, you cannot change, this is built in. But this is used for giving an input. Now the first input I want to start with is this. Enter your name. Enter your name. Now when I do this, I'll type here scan dot next. So there is a method called as next. If you open the scanner class and if you press Ctrl O, you can see there are so many methods that is present here. These are all the utility methods that can help us to perform a specific task. Like the next method. This can read only one word, one string word, not multiple words, one string word. Example, if I now write string name, observe, if I now write here, your name is, we will join the string with variable, concatenation, your name is. You will just use your plus operator name. So this is the fixed part of your string. That value will get concatenated with a variable. Now if I run this, run as Java application, enter your name Mike, you see. This part of the string is fixed because that's in double quotes. And when I use a plus operator, that joins to output. This name can be a string or a number or a float, doesn't matter. Whenever you use a plus operator with a string, everything is converted to a string. Understand the simple thing? You're using string plus number, everything is a string. String plus decimal value, at the end the result is string. String plus name, your name is, string plus string, string. If you're using a plus operator with a string, string plus operator and something, everything becomes a string. Is this clear? Everybody got this part? Now, if I enter multiple names, multiple words like Mike Tyson, observe. What is it telling? If I now run this, enter Mike Tyson, what it says? Is it reading Tyson? So in order to do that, we use next line method. If you want to read multiple values, then it is Mike Tyson. What is it? Mike Tyson. Is this clear, everyone? Yes. So we will use next line method. If I now tell enter your age, now age is an integer value. So let me write here age, and I'm going to write here next int, and we'll write here your ages. You see now, this is string, but this is number. But after concatenation, this whole thing will become a string. Okay. Now when you run, enter your age. So next int can read number. Did you understand now? Everybody? Now let's say I want to enter your weight. Enter your weight. And I'll make this as float. Got it? This will be next float. So there are methods given based on what inputs you are giving. If I now run, I'm giving an input 78.4. Is this clear? Everybody? 78 point what? 4. Now if I want to enter boolean value, okay, if I want to enter boolean value, enter your answer. Enter your answer. So here scan dot, you will use next boolean, and this will become boolean answer, and take this into this variable. Did you understand now? So when you use a string plus boolean, the complete thing becomes a string. That's concatenation. Let's run this. Enter your answer true. So boolean values are true or false. Or if you enter anything, this is the category of number format exception. Because number format exception parent classes, right? So I hope everybody got this part. Everyone clear with this part? Please look at this program slowly. We have just understood how user inputs can be given now. If you want to give any user inputs, how it can be provided. Read that slowly. Is this clear? Everyone? Did we cover this part? Now you have, see today I'm going to wind up the class a little early, okay, as I have some work to do actually. But there are assignments given for you now. So the assignments for the vacation is given. You will not waste your time. There are links given here. Can you see that? You will copy that link, put that into your browser and open this YouTube videos of mine and start with IIB, SIB, and then what? So this part you have to complete it. What all part you have to cover? IIB, SIB, and then what? You will finish this part. So by the time you're back on Tuesday, already assignment is given, you will finish this part. Take one day, one assignment. Don't rush and prepare the notes properly. Okay, you have to stop the video, write the notes. Stop the video, write the notes. Will you do that? Yes, all of you. So happy festival to all of you. See you again on Tuesday. Okay, right. Throwable. We have error also. That's built in. We have not developed these classes. See, in projects we want specific exception. Sometimes, like I'm searching a record with a particular ID number and the record is not found. And I want to throw an exception, record not found. I want to throw an exception, record not found. So I want it to be specific. Okay, which you will learn further. I will cover that further. We have not talked about exception. Class is not over. With exception concept, further things you will learn. So in your project, you will have specific exceptions. So if exception class can handle all exceptions, if exception class can handle all exception, then why we should use arithmetic exception, things like that. In projects, we will purposefully throw exceptions for a business condition. Like you go to toll, right? You don't have money in your, what is that? Fast tag. You don't have money in your fast tag. And when you're at the toll, scanning happens, the gate is closed. The message given is blacklisted. Now the blacklisted there, it's throwing an exception. Blacklisted exception. The gate will not open. Correct? Now I want to create my own exceptions, which we'll see further.